What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to some video clips of Canadians explaining why they aren't buying anything American anymore. So, honestly, I think that it's hard for Americans to truly understand how Canadians are feeling right now. We can try. We can try to understand and empathize and all that, but let's be honest. All of the aggressive tariffs and the threats against Canada, and you could say the betrayal. That sense of betrayal that we've broken our trust with Canada. That's all come from the United States side of all this. So at the end of the day, we are the ones causing this. So today, I want to check out some videos here where Canadians are talking openly about their thoughts on boycotting American goods and their thoughts on the US Canada relationship. And, I just want to try to get a better idea of what Canadians are feeling right now and what you think about all this. So let's take a look.
I would love to see Canada be the 51st state.
Customer Dale Darling is on the hunt to buy local. When she first heard Trump's comments, she had a visceral reaction.
Yeah, no kidding. Geez. If any American is like confused about why Canadians like don't really like the US, this is a good place to start. Like literally this clip is a good place to start.
I would love to see Canada be the 51st state.
Unbelievable to say it so like brazenly, so openly. You you better believe if the Canadian Prime Minister, like if Mark Carney said this about the United States, that Canada would like to see America become part of Canada, like Canadians, you would never hear the end of it from American outrage. Like Americans would be so outraged, so mad, so pissed, probably doing all the stuff that Canadians are doing to the US. Like if there's boycotts or protests or not wanting to travel here, not wanting to do business with us. So, yeah, like this clip alone, like tells you a lot of what you need to know, right?
Customer Dale Darling is on the hunt to buy local. When she first heard Trump's comments, she had a visceral reaction.
I don't understand why anyone would think that any nation would react well to basically talk of colonization.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it, because it's like blunt. I think that's what Americans need, because like I've been trying to keep up with a lot of this stuff. Like obviously I'm aware of the utter turmoil that is the Canada-US relationship and a lot of the damage that Donald Trump and the US has done to Canada. But as far as the United States in general, like I never hear anyone talking about this. I don't hear like my friends bringing up like how much we've betrayed Canada or like this, like how we've literally threatened to colonize Canada to take it over. We'd like to have like that's a big deal for us to say that. And yes, Donald Trump is our president. He represents us for better or worse. We elected him. We did that. So he represents us and he's saying we want to invade Canada or we'd like to have it. So yes, like Americans should be more upset and embarrassed and like so I think it takes like hearing it like this Canadian lady is saying, like, yeah, I don't know who would respond well to basically threats of being invaded. Like, a lot of Americans just don't even think of it like that. Like, that's serious.
So, it is hard to look in a neutral way at what's going on outside our borders, and I simply had such a negative reaction to it. I wasn't prepared to support their economy.
I mean, yeah. How can you argue with that? Like, I really think what it would take is like another country doing what we have done to Canada. Another country, if they did that to us, then American, like, we'd really understand and we'd be like, yeah, of course, like, we're not going to support that country threatening us. Why would we support them? Why would we buy their stuff? Why would we want anything to do with them? Like, that would be so obvious to us then. But since we're the ones doing it, it's like we're willingly having like blindness, amnesia, like the blinders are on. Like no one wants to admit that they might be the bad guy. Everybody is the good guy in their own personal story. I think that's literally what's going on here.
She stopped buying American products and says many of her friends have done the same. Several Nova Scotia retailers say they continue to see a lot of interest in buying local. At Westside Beer, Wine, Spirits in Clayton Park, while bourbon is popular, there's less demand for...
What is... U.S. products, they're back for a limited time. I didn't know, like, is this a thing now in Canadian stores where it's like... Because I know in a lot of places in Canada, they're not selling American alcohol in particular. That's a big one. So it's like when McDonald's brings back the cheesy shake 'em up fry like powder, you know? It's a limited time offer. That's what US products have become.
other American products.
And so, for the most part, Canadians, I think we have really spoken with their wallets, saying that they still want to support Canadian and local, and that the U.S. products are not things that they are super keen on buying in great demand.
It's interesting because, like, here in the United States, especially in like some of the more rural areas, like smaller cities, smaller towns, there is a sentiment of like buy local, like support your local farmers market or businesses, and like that's a good thing that a lot of people try to do. It sounds like I would imagine that's similar in Canadian culture, just in general. Like people want to buy Canadian, especially local Canadian stuff to support your local businesses. But this is interesting because it sounds like it's two things. Canadians in general have sort of this anti-American sentiment where you don't want to support American businesses and the US, and you don't want to buy our stuff. And simultaneously, there is a pro-Canadian sentiment that has grown, like, beyond just like, oh, support your local Canadian farmers market or small businesses. It's like Canadians want to not buy American stuff and have like a reinvigorated attitude of like, and you know what? I also want to support Canada too. Like that's becoming more and more important to me. Is that like a newer thing? Is that like fair to say?
In SLC, sales of Nova Scotian alcohol products increased more than 11% in the most recent fiscal year. This happened at the same time that overall alcohol sales fell. In a statement, NSLC spokesperson Tara McKinnon said that most of the remaining U.S. inventory is wine and spirits, and, quote, given the volume of U.S. wine on hand, it will take some time to sell through it.
Right, because there's just unavoidable that a lot of Canadian like distributors and stores like have uh American alcohol or American goods that they already have in supply, like in the back in storage. And they probably just don't want that to go to waste. So it's kind of annoying because Canadians don't want to buy American stuff, but there's all this like extra American inventory that they want to get rid of. So it's, I don't know if there's some like caveat there where the Canadian stores are like, we'll give you like the American discount if you wanna buy this junk off of us, or just so they can get it off their hands. Or
At a local source market in Halifax, Trump talk drove new customers to the store, and they continue to shop there. Founder Sean Gallagher believes the interest in buying local took root at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic.
We can just support each other and small.
look at this. This is exactly what I meant. Local markets where they like make their own Canadian tomatoes, or so the buy local thing. I mean, they're saying it really took root starting in like COVID a couple of years ago.
Economic decisions kind of make a difference, and that's what was kind of laid bare during the pandemic. So then when Trump came around second term and is trying to annex us and give us grief, we're like, that's okay, we can do other things.
So it's like a combination, basically. There was already, for a lot of Canadians, like a sentiment already building of like, I want to support Canada. And then Trump did what Trump did and really pissed off Canadians and really really ruined America's reputation. I don't even like to think about it, but at the same time, you can't just ignore it. You have to acknowledge the reality. Um, and once that's all started happening, it's just perpetuated this feeling where Canadians even more so are like, because in a sense Canada is being attacked. It's so bizarre to like even think and say some of these things from an American perspective. Like, I don't know if that's weird, but it's how I really feel. As an American, it's weird to just say like to say that and think about some of these things that are really happening, that America is attacking Canada like economically and like literally threatening your sovereignty, and like those are real things that are happening. And Canada is this is all a result of that. It's insane that this is all like, sometimes I stop for a moment and I'm like, gotta remember, like, this is a real thing that's really happening. Unbelievable.
He says people are able to express their Canadian pride by buying local, and they're enjoying doing it. Richard Woodbury, CBC News, Halifax.
All right, that was cool. That was insightful. Hearing what a lot of Canadian customers and even some businesses have to say about it all. I want to take a look at another video clip. These are literally random Canadians being interviewed about like not buying American liquor and stuff like that. So I want to hear what they have to say.
Were you buying American alcohol today?
No.
And why not?
Because we always want to support local, support Canadian.
Definitely, if I have a choice, I will buy local.
Just to encourage my wife and all my friends and relatives, stay away from that Yankee stuff.
Whoa! Is that... Ha! Yankee. Stay away from that Yankee stuff. What? I haven't... my great-great-grandpa was the last one to be called that in a derogatory sense. Oh my God. Yankee. My God. That took me by surprise. Canadians feel strongly about this. Don't want to buy that Yankee stuff. Oh my God. That makes things clear to me how you guys are feeling.
No, I boycott them. When Trump started acting up, that's it.
So for a lot of Canadians, I'm hearing a lot of Canadians talking about not, again, this keeps coming up, like not just, I don't like America, I don't want to support the US. That's a big part of it. And then the other part is like, I want to support Canada. So it's like clearly gone hand in hand a bit with Donald Trump attacking Canada. Like Canadians are feeling, I don't know, more patriotic, more like love and protection for your country, which makes sense. Um, the only thing I can even relate to is thinking back when I was very young, like 9/11 in the United States. It was a national tragedy, and America felt like we were under attack. So there's some similarities there, and it really unified the American people under a cause and under like a big feeling of patriotism. Like we are Americans and we will defend the United States, and there was a lot of pride in that. And I'm almost getting a similar sense here today from Canadians, really feeling like you are under attack and that it's kind of bringing you together. It's crazy that it's America that's doing that. It's sad that we're the ones, yeah. Um, but putting that aside, it's also almost kind of like uh, touching, kind of like cool to see Canadians like really standing up for Canada and like feeling this sense of supporting Canada. And um, I respect that. I like that. I feel like that's how Americans responded in our times of turmoil. I just can't get over we're the ones causing the turmoil to Canada, which is very bad. It's awful to think about.
That it seems to have been effective, but at the same time, I don't know how long it's worth keeping going with it.
Swanger says emotions are high, and his industry has been pulled into the crosshairs of the.
Okay, so they're just talking more about the alcohol boycott, which is a huge thing going. That seems to be one of the things that actually, like, Trump tries to act like none of this is getting to him. It's clearly getting to him. He is clearly extremely triggered about the alcohol boycott. Like that is working, no doubt about it. Among other things. So this is one last clip here talking about. Oh, okay. This is talking about Canadians. Like, if things were to get better between Canada and the U.S., how would Canadians feel then? Like, what would you do?
If American alcohol went back on the shelf, according to new polling from Nanos done exclusively for CTV News, just under 3/4 of Canadians, 74%, are unlikely to buy it. And that's an increase from last year.
Excuse me. I'm sure that was pleasant to look at. All right, but are you kidding me? You're not. It's literally data. I've not seen this. Likeliness of buying American alcohol if it's put on the shelf. So American alcohol, if it were to go back on Canadian shelves under some kind of trade deal or concessions, or it wouldn't even matter. Canadians, 74% of Canadians aren't likely to buy it even if it's available. Which is that's a whole different universe of like this is so much worse than I thought. Like this shows me it's not just like the provinces or the Canadian stores, the retailers boycotting American alcohol. Even if that were to end and it was on the shelf, Canadians don't care. The damage is done. You're not going to buy it even if it's right there in front of you, which shows a whole other level of how committed Canadians are to this sort of anti-American, this boycotting, this overall sentiment. Just seeing this poll or whatever, and this feeling has increased. It's only gotten worse for the U.S. as time's going on. It's because I know there's Americans who think like, oh, maybe things are getting better. Tensions as time goes on, maybe like, the tensions are going down. I don't think so. This says it's gotten worse in 2026.
That's an increase from last year.
Wow. Wow. I think it's just that this suggests that even if Canada and the United States have a trade deal, it's not like Canadians' feelings about the US are going to change overnight. You're not just going to trust us or like us or buy our stuff overnight if some like trade deal happens or if alcohol is unbanned or this is not going to be fixed quickly, if at all. Which is depressing as an American, but it makes sense. Like this is real emotions, real hostility from us, real feelings. And I think America is experiencing the very real consequences of our actions. And ironically, a lot of Americans don't even understand the ramifications of what we have done. I think the consequences of what we are doing to Canada will be felt for years to come based on this. So this is crazy. Yeah, this is worse than I thought. So I am glad I took a look at this, just to get a better understanding of where Canadians are at, how they're feeling. I think that's really important for Americans to do, to stand any chance of remedying this relationship or. So for those reasons, I enjoyed some of this, but geez, it's bad. It's bad for the U.S. It's bad. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment, especially if you're Canadian. That'd be awesome to hear your thoughts about all this stuff. That'd be amazing. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canadian things from my American perspective, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.